I stared at the computer screen, my hands trembling as I read the bank statement. $2.7 million. In an account I'd never seen before. Under my husband's name. The same amount my grandmother left me 3 years ago. Let me back up. My name is Sarah, and I thought I had the perfect marriage. David was everything I'd dreamed of, successful, charming, the kind of man who brought me coffee in bed and remembered our anniversary. We met at my grandmother's funeral, if you can believe that. He was there supporting his business partner, who happened to be my second cousin. Grandma Rose had raised me after my parents died. She was my everything. When she passed, she left me her entire estate, $2.7 million from selling her house and a lifetime of careful investments. It was supposed to be my security, my future, maybe our future together. David was so supportive during that awful time. He held me while I cried, helped me navigate the legal paperwork, even drove me to meetings with the estate lawyer. When he proposed 6 months later, I said yes without hesitation. He was my rock. Don't worry about the money stuff, he'd say, kissing my forehead. I'll handle all our finances. You just focus on healing. I was grieving and overwhelmed, so I gratefully let him take control. He set up new accounts, handled the inheritance transfer, managed our investments. I trusted him completely. Why wouldn't I? He was going to be my husband. For 3 years, I never questioned it. David told me the money was safely invested, growing for our future. He showed me quarterly statements that looked legitimate. We lived comfortably but not extravagantly, nice house, decent cars, annual vacations. I assumed he was being conservative with my inheritance. Then last Tuesday happened. David was in the shower when his laptop dinged with an email notification. I wasn't snooping, I was just closing it so the sound wouldn't wake him up early. But the email preview made me freeze. Cayman Islands private banking account statement available. Cayman Islands? We didn't have any accounts there. David had never mentioned international banking. My stomach dropped as I clicked the email, then entered David's password, our anniversary date, which he used for everything. The account summary loaded slowly, like my computer was reluctant to shatter my world. When it appeared, I stopped breathing. Account holder, David Michael Chen. Balance, $2,847,392.83. The deposit history showed everything. 3 years ago, a wire transfer of exactly $2,700,000 from Rose Henderson Trust account. My grandmother's name. My inheritance. Then smaller deposits over the years, money I'd given him for our investment accounts, birthday checks from relatives, even the $5,000 I'd saved from my part-time job. He'd stolen everything. I sat there staring at proof that my husband was a thief. The man who held me while I grieved had robbed me blind. The money Grandma Rose had saved her entire life, money meant to protect me, was sitting in his secret offshore account. My hands shook as I scrolled through 3 years of statements. He'd been moving money regularly, hiding it, lying to my face every single day. Those investment reports he showed me? Complete fabrications. The man I loved, the man I'd trusted with everything, had stolen my entire inheritance the moment we got married. I heard the shower turn off and quickly closed the laptop. David walked out, toweling his hair, smiling at me like nothing had happened. Like he hadn't destroyed my life. Morning, beautiful. Coffee? I nodded, not trusting my voice. He kissed my cheek and headed downstairs, humming. Actually humming. While I sat there realizing I'd been married to a stranger. The next few days were torture. I kept waiting for him to confess, to explain, to somehow make this make sense. Instead, he acted completely normal. He brought me flowers Friday night, told me he loved me, made plans for our upcoming anniversary. I felt like I was losing my mind. At night, I'd lie awake staring at him, wondering how someone could be so calculating. During the day, I'd catch myself analyzing every conversation we'd ever had, looking for clues I'd missed. By Sunday, the rage hit. This wasn't just theft, It was the cruelest kind of betrayal. He'd preyed on me while I was grieving, stolen the last gift from the woman who raised me, then gaslight me for 3 years while living off my money. I wasn't going to be his victim anymore. First, I called my cousin Marcus, the one who'd brought David to Grandma's funeral. Turns out David had lied about that too, they weren't business partners. Marcus barely knew him. David had crashed the funeral, specifically targeting me because Marcus had mentioned my inheritance. Then I hired a forensic accountant and a divorce lawyer. The accountant traced every penny, proving David had systematically moved my inheritance offshore, then used it to fund investments under his name. The lawyer explained that because I'd been defrauded, I had grounds for both criminal charges and asset recovery. But I wanted more than legal justice. I wanted him to feel what I'd felt, the shock of having your world crumble. I planned carefully. Last Thursday, I invited David's parents, his brother, and several co-workers over for dinner. I told David I wanted to celebrate our anniversary early, really make it special. During dessert, I stood up with a glass of wine. "I want to toast my wonderful husband," I said, smiling sweetly. "David has been so supportive, especially with managing my grandmother's inheritance." Everyone smiled, raising their glasses. In fact, he's been so good with money, he managed to grow my $2.7 million inheritance into over $2.8 million. David's face went white, but I continued. Of course, he grew it by hiding it in a secret Cayman Islands account under only his name, but I'm sure that was just an oversight. The silence was deafening. David's mother dropped her fork. His brother stared open-mouthed. His boss, yes, his boss was there, looked horrified. "Sarah, what are you?" "Oh, should I not have mentioned the offshore fraud?" "My mistake. I thought everyone knew about your little theft operation." I pulled out printed copies of the bank statements and distributed them around the table like party favors. The forensic accountant says this is textbook financial elder abuse, since he stole the money while I was grieving. The FBI's white-collar crime unit was very interested when I filed the report yesterday. David tried to run, actually pushed back from the table and headed for the door. But the 2 federal agents I'd arranged to be waiting outside had perfect timing. The divorce was swift. The criminal charges stuck. David pled guilty to wire fraud and theft, got 3 years in federal prison. I recovered every penny of my inheritance plus interest, and his assets covered my legal fees. But the best part? His family, his co-workers, everyone in his life now knows exactly who he really is. No more charming facade. No more perfect husband act. Just a convicted fraudster who preys on grieving women. I kept Grandma Rose's money in new accounts David will never touch. And I learned that sometimes the person closest to you can be the most dangerous predator of all. Trust your instincts. Verify everything. And never let anyone isolate you from your own financial security, no matter how much you love them. Have you experienced something like this? Tell me in the comments.